Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. We want to welcome and thank you guys for joining today's webinar, Innovation and Market Research, a 2018 Industry Update. In today's presentation, I'll introduce and welcome our hosts. We have Mike King, Associate Vice President of Research Operations, Emily Burton, Director of Research, and then Jenny Yee, Research Manager. Our agenda today will include why market researchers report feeling overwhelmed, how innovation is able to remedy common research problems, why market researchers report trouble implementing new technologies, and what market researchers can do to implement innovation. My name is Lisa Lopez. I'm the Content Specialist here at LIFECYCLE, and I'm very excited to have you with us all today. Before we start, I have a few housekeeping items. We will have a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar. If you have any questions at any time throughout today's presentation, feel free to submit them to either the question or chat box inside the GoToWebinar interface. We will catalog them throughout the presentation and come back to them at the end. Also, I want to mention, if you have joined us before, we have a substantial catalog of case studies, white papers, webinars, and industry resources located at fuelcycle.com under the resources section, which I encourage you to take a look at when you have the time. So today's webinar should take about 30 to 35 minutes, and then we'll go into a 10-minute Q&A session. So with that, I'd like to introduce our presenters. We have Mike King, who has over 10 years of experience in consumer insights and has been with FuelCycle for over 3 years as a researcher and as a client success manager. Her background is in both quantitative and qualitative research, having worked in research worldwide. She has worked in a wide variety of industries, ranging from consumer packaged goods, tech media, and retail. Next, we have Emily Burton. She has 7+ years of experience in market research and a background in experimental psychology. She has worked with communities in a wide variety of industries, including CPG, retail, media, and insurance. Emily oversees the research team, making strategic and providing actionable insights. Prior to working with FuelCycle, Emily worked at Lieberman Research Worldwide, managing both quantitative and qualitative studies. And then we have Jenny Yee. She's a research manager at FuelCycle out of our New York office. She cut her teeth at Lieberman Research, Inc. before joining FuelCycle in 2017. With a focus of concept testing, consumer insights, and strategic insights, Jenny works with Fortune 500 technology, telecommunications, and CPG companies. She graduated from Babson College with a BS in Business Administration and a focus in Business Analytics. So, without further introduction, I will hand this over to Jenny, who will be starting out with discussing why market researchers report feeling overwhelmed.
Thanks, Lisa. So overall, we found some interesting but not so surprising information regarding the biggest hurdles that market researchers face today. First off, market researchers are facing an ever-increasing amount of workload. There's a high demand within organizations for research and insights, resulting in multiple projects and stakeholders. Market researchers face a unique challenge of not just pleasing their direct supervisors, but pleasing the various stakeholders across their organization. So when we asked about their most pressing concerns, 43% reported managing multiple projects at the same time, and the pressure to keep all of their stakeholders happy keeps them up at night. But when we asked about their typical workday versus their major concerns, the majority said that most of their day was monopolized by manual tasks like data analysis and report writing, which are pretty time consuming and take away from addressing those bigger concerns. However, there is already technology available in the market today that addresses a lot of these tasks and helps us save time. For example, IBM Watson's sentiment analysis quickly codes and positive and negative keywords. There's word clouds and text macros that provide faster analysis on qualitative data. And then there's automated reports from survey programming companies like Qualtrics and Survey Gizmo that analyze data as it comes in so you can quickly see what's going on. And this raises the question, how else can innovation help us achieve our daily market research tasks? How can they address these bigger concerns? And overall, how can they improve the way that things are done today in our industry? We asked the same questions and found out a lot of market researchers want the same thing. More importantly, they want more opportunity to provide advice and not just data. They want the ability to integrate all different types of data, have better sample and panel partners, and of course, a better understanding of the overall value of market research. So innovation answers all these issues. It promises to transform siloed data into one unified source. Researchers use on any given day a handful of tools and face the challenge of manually piecing data together from all different sources. So these tools can help us analyze data faster. It can cut down time, drive impact within our organizations, saving us time on these manual tasks while also addressing these bigger concerns that we have for our industry. So the good news is the technology is already out there. We've got automated transcription and captioning tools that can cut down hours and hours of manual labor. We've got sentiment analysis that can take care of thousands of entries in just seconds. And these are just some of the current innovations that can help us with manual tasks, as well as be better at them, taking away human error and inconsistencies. But also, let's not forget, it's not just manual tasks either. There's technology that go beyond human capabilities and even capture real-time insights. There's geolocation features that can help us identify and target respondents right as they enter a destination or a given area that you've pinpointed. There is affectiva, emotional recognition analysis that can track facial movements and code them, things that we can't really see because they happen so fast, and we can analyze what people feel and the expressions they make the exact second of an exposure.
Thank you so much, Jenny. So this is Emily. Thanks, Lisa, for the introduction as well. I'm going to be talking a little bit about why it is that market researchers report struggling with implementing new technologies. So we know it can be difficult for researchers to utilize technology to its full potential. It may be a shortage in skills or training and a lack of knowledge in how to apply tools that may be bottlenecks for implementation, or it can be difficult to get access to new technology that's within your budget. As companies need a compelling reason for investing in new technology solutions, such as improved or streamlined internal processes or newer or strengthened revenue streams. Particularly when working as a vendor, researchers also often have to stick with what the end client is comfortable with, and a new innovative approach may not sit well with a traditional client. So let's take a look at some of the feedback we saw. 50% of researchers are excited about new technologies. Many are excited about the benefits and new opportunities that technology can bring to their work. Often researchers are drawn to the idea of decreasing their time spent on tedious or repetitive tasks that could be automated. Researchers are driven to work faster and smarter, and they find interesting and impactful ways of displaying information, which can be driven by the adoption of new technology. Only a quarter of researchers felt their upper management at their company understands how market research supports business, and about half say their management supports research innovation. So when we see that market research is being undervalued, there can be a lack of support from upper management toward innovation efforts and funding. Information gathered by market research is often viewed as a nice to know and not tied to behavior change or major business impact. Proving the value of insights can be a major hurdle in the push for innovation. Market research should be positioned as an investment that will drive a company's success. Companies can benefit hugely by understanding their consumers' wants, needs, and opinions as they relate to their company's brands, products, services, and advertising. We often hear that market researchers don't have an adequate budget for innovation, so we know that budget is the main obstacle for implementing new technologies. Here at LIFECYCLE, our clients have a variety of levels and relationships within their own organizations, and they often share their struggles to secure budgets for their department and projects. When research needs to be done on a small budget, we can recommend a handful of best practices, including knowing exactly which questions need to be answered, So by prioritizing only those crucial to your company's success and cutting the nice-to-know items, you can better allocate your budget. Using the most effective research available that takes into account all factors influencing behavior and not relying solely on traditional asking methods, such as surveys and focus groups, will make the best use of your budget as well. When researchers only ask respondents direct questions, subconscious decision-making processes can be missed. So innovative approaches utilizing both direct and indirect questioning as well as measuring implicit attitudes will offer the most robust insights. Similarly, if you have a small budget you're working within, identifying whether a broad market sample will work for your business question or whether you need to make comparisons between groups or potentially target only your known market will help you make the most of your sample budget. Knowing the right time to carry out the research can also preserve your limited budget. So for example, if you're looking to develop new packaging, you can start the research in the pre-design phase to figure out which ideas are likely to work rather than waiting for finalized designs or prototypes. Making the most of online tools can allow researchers to reach hundreds and thousands of respondents quickly and at a comparatively low cost to some traditional methods. So showcasing how a new technology can provide faster and or higher quality feedback can convince stakeholders to invest in innovation. With enterprise-grade solutions like ours, we have clients that get very creative in combining budgets across departments. With Fuel Cycle Exchange, they're able to bypass vendor lists because if Fuel Cycle is on their vendor list, they have all of our tools that have already been vetted by our trusted partners that are available through Fuel Cycle Exchange.
Great, thanks, Emily. Hi, everyone, this is Mai, and today I'm going to talk about what market researchers can do to implement innovation. So innovation begins with the employee, or in this case, the market researcher, being willing to think outside of what is considered normal for the company. We already know the power of connecting directly to the customer to inform business decisions. The difference we see is that innovative companies are not only collecting insights on a project-by-project basis, but have a long-term strategy for staying ahead of the crowd. Innovative companies conduct continuous research. So in other words, innovative companies have moved away from focusing on ad hoc projects where insights decks are presented and then left to collect dust. They're running research continuously, keeping a pulse on trends, gathering rich data points on customers, oftentimes in a single portal so that all data is connected and the data gets richer as more research is conducted. So as an example, one of our retail clients used the community across many of their departments, from product development, marketing, and different lines of businesses. This community also runs a high volume of very quick turnaround projects in which results are benchmarked against each other to refine brand identity testing and improve brand success in market. By conducting research through one platform across many departments, they can share the wealth of data collected. They've conducted hundreds of activities and collected a multitude of data points from demographics, psychographics, purchase behaviors, and hobbies, to name a few. And they can use these data points to slice and dice the data. So what can market researchers do to implement innovation? Well, we often hear that, again, as Emily said, budget is the biggest hurdle to pushing an idea into action. Some of our clients have gotten over this hurdle by helping their leaders define and refine company and departmental objectives, prioritize initiatives and projects, sharing budgets across departments for an enterprise-wide solution, and lastly, by proving return on investment for their innovative solutions. So to articulate the ROI of your selected solution, lean on your partners and vendors for arsenal. The sales representative or consultant should be able to help by arming you with the case studies such as how the solution impacted stakeholders, how solution generated additional revenue, estimated savings in time and money and effort in comparison to traditional methods. So in addition to the willingness of the researcher to think outside of the box, find the nugget of insights in the data and tell a compelling story, the researcher needs to package and present their new idea in a way that their leaders can understand it, be inspired by it, and ultimately champion it and be inspired by it. The researcher needs to present the problem and show how the idea will solve the problem along with estimated costs and return on investments.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Mai, Emily, and Jenny. That was super informative and really interesting to hear. So I do have a few questions that have come in. And the first one is from Mark, who wants to know, have you guys personally witnessed success from being early adopters of new market research technology in your own business? And if so, what's the protocol for bringing new technologies into your pipeline? And I'll hand that over to Mai to answer.
Sure, of course. Yes, so we've definitely witnessed success from being early adopters of new market research technology. We're able to offer quick, affordable, advanced study options and making it user-friendly and approachable to everyone. So take our FCX partner Conjointly as an example. We can provide conjoint analysis at a fraction of the cost to a traditional research firm, and also at a much, much faster pace.
Okay.
And the second part of that question, so that was what's the protocol for bringing new technology into our pipeline. We definitely do have a standard protocol. So we have a vetting process of reviewing their API structure, pricing structure, better understanding their resources, such as their sales, marketing, research, and customer success teams, making sure that our data can be consolidated, and of course, we need to make sure both parties are trained in the technology as well.
That's fantastic. So we do have another question as well. This one's from Jess, who asks, what are some of the current tools that you feel have been the most worthwhile and valuable to your workload? And I'll hand that over to Emily.
Sure, thank you. So similar to what Mai touched on, some of the advanced analytics tools that have made it possible for us to offer very easy to understand and adaptable tools for our clients' needs. So things like Conjointly, which offers a very user-friendly, much faster than a traditional conjoint study approach. VoxTaught.me, which offers very quick transcription, automated, and easy to make video reels that are kind of a sizzle reel of the findings. Some of those have been really exciting. We've been able to offer, expand our offering to clients and do things much faster and teach clients to use the tools themselves that are pretty easy to work with and intuitive. Also things like automated sentiment analysis, which will give you just a quick read or direction or let you know what to look further into in your qualitative data. Even things like running a max diff in certain survey tools. So within Survey Gizmo, for example, the automated reporting is very easy to work with, which has been helpful with our workload, just less time-consuming advanced analytics approaches that have helped the research team.
Okay, great. I actually think that's all the questions that we've had so far. If anyone is still out there on the fence about whether to submit their questions, now would be the time. In the meantime, I will send any questions that come in later to our team to answer individually if you do have any follow-up questions. So I just want to thank you guys again for joining. We look forward to seeing you guys on future webinars.